for free agency news in the world of professional wrestling. We're here every 2 weeks, it seems like by nowadays, but it's a regular schedule now. And I
Yep.
am Ryan, and
And
this is
I am Doug. I'm back
he's
with my
back, baby.
coffee.
This coffee.
Morning.
What kind of coffee you got today?
I am a I'll be honest, I'm not a coffee snob. I can't really tell the difference between the expensive stuff and the cheap stuff, so I have myself some Folgers,
Yeah.
which is fine.
How would you relate Folgers in the realm of professional wrestling? What professional wrestler is the Folgers of professional wrestling?
Ah, is you know what? I think I would say that Folgers is definitely the Daniel Garcia of
Daniel
professional
Garcia.
wrestling.
That sounds misunderstood.
Well, it's very simple. It's not flashy. It's very simple,
Yeah.
but it gets the job done every single time.
Okay. Okay. I think that what would be the flashy coffee then? What do you think, like, because you say that you can't taste the flashy coffee, right? So
Right.
what is that experience for you for a professional wrestler? Somebody that's people keep raving about as being the greatest coffee in the world, and you have, and you're like, I don't know.
Well, I suppose AJ Styles could be one where a lot of people might put that might say that.
Oh,
So I think
oh,
that could be one.
wow. That's a hot one to throw out there today, especially with that being the title of the episode is about AJ Styles.
Well, I thought I was a nice segue, totally not intentional.
But is it truthful?
I think so. Listen, as someone who got into New Japan at the height of AJ Styles' run there,
Yeah.
um, yeah, he has a special place in my heart in that regard, and I have a fond memory of every single thing he did in that company, and I thought he was phenomenal. So yes, I think I would say
Oh.
so. I'm
But
I'm fine saying that.
okay, okay. So that's the really good coffee that people talk to you about that you actually do like.
Yes, but I
Okay.
will once again, in terms of coffee, if
Yeah.
if if my wrestling watching was similar to my coffee drinking,
Yeah.
I would watch um I'd be watching like a Toriano match and I'd be watching an AJ Styles match and be like, "Oh, those are both very good."
Well, you do not have a lot in common with another Chicagoan, then on that regard of your taste.
Yeah. Well, Illinoisan.
Well, how about we just do a brief, quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about this week on WrestleWatch. Well, the title, the big story today is going to be AJ Styles, All Elite or All Retired. We're going to be looking at the newing debut for WWE. He made his debut at the Royal Rumble. It's Powerhouse Hobbs, or now is known Royce Keys. And we also have Tommaso Ciampa making a big jump over to AEW. We'll see how that's been going for both of those two so far. Andrade Idolo made a comment that he wants to retire in AEW. We'll talk about how believable that statement is. We have a few other people that we're going to chat about when we get to our tracker, and we have some awards that we had been doing this year. We call them the Sicko Awards because we're very sick people over here. We're the kinds of people that we think Toriano and AJ Styles do the same thing for us. We're sickos, okay?
If we're talking coffee.
If we're talking coffee only, okay. uh, but we're gonna chat about our pick for the story of the year for last year, who we think is going to be the most interesting free agent for this year, and we'll stop on some other awards if we feel like it. But first, let's talk about AJ Styles. Of course, AJ Styles had his presumable last match ever last week at the Royal Rumble against the career killer, as he's now trademarked, Gunter. Did you see on the Raw afterwards that Gunter came out? He did the old CM Punk coming out to the to Jeff Hardy's music. He did the Montreal Screwjob come out to the music thing afterwards.
I didn't, but I'm not surprised. So hey, all right. I guess we can go with that. But yeah, so AJ Styles. I think we're starting there, right?
Yes, indeed. We're starting there with Mr. Styles, who he took off his gloves after that match with Gunther. He tapped out. He knew when to. Oh no, he passed out actually against Gunther, so he didn't know when to quit.
Yeah.
Unlike John Cena, he passed out. He said that he was about to take off his gloves, and then he kept them on. He didn't leave his gloves in the ring. He left the ring. He came back in, went to the corners, did his Bullet Club symbol. Then all the WWE people, they're like trying to say, oh, well, maybe he'll work with us, he's definitely retired. Goes on to Stephanie McMahon's podcast, gets asked this, and of course says, maybe not. What are you thinking right now?
This whole thing is very weird. Mainly because I think every single person who's looking at this would say, well, it doesn't look like he's wrestled his last match. I mean, he does this weird tease. He goes on Stephanie McMahon's show and says this. So I have a hard time believing that he's done. Right? Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't seem
maybe.
like he'd be done. It'd be strange to like if he is genuinely done, why would he do this whole thing with the gloves?
Yeah.
Why would he tease this? I mean, unless he's just very adamant about leaving a door open at some point. But it feels like he's done in that regard. But it also feels like let's be honest, we're really thinking about AJ Styles and his career. It's like it doesn't feel like he's finished.
No, it doesn't.
Feels like he would wrestle again.
Yeah.
But they basically told the story that he's done, at least in WWE.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have said, like, well, he can go to TNA, and he's not going to take TNA money. However, is it impossible that WWE would like re-sign him and just to keep him away from AEW, pay him WWE money to work occasionally in TNA? I don't think that's impossible. Or maybe even AAA. Maybe he'll want to get some, get his hands on one of the Americanos. And you never know. So I think that that's part of it.
Yeah.
Now I do think it could just, now here's the thing. A lot of people are saying like he's being too buddy with Stephanie and WWE and all this stuff. It doesn't look like he's going, but and WWE is doing a lot for him. And I will just preface this that, this wouldn't be the first time that WWE has bladed someone on their way out the door. Do we remember the Mox tour when he left WWE, how they basically throwing flowers and roses at every single tour stop for him before he even left, and then he left. Edge, when he left, they treated him very, very well, and people weren't exactly sure what was going on with that.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible that they would do this on his way out the door. And I'll say this as well. It's also not impossible that AJ genuinely doesn't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. I would say I would say with those retirement tours, I think in each scenario, maybe not with Mox, that it seemed like they weren't sure if the person was actually going to retire or leave to go somewhere else. They thought maybe we'll be able to keep him. Now Edge was one where I think that it was pretty well known. Yeah, this guy's not retiring. Yeah. They kind of knew, but they had already kind of, I think that with Mox, they were trying to preserve the legacy of the Shield a little bit because they, their top guys that were still in the company were Mox's old teammates. So if they, tried to trounce the legacy of him, then you're kind of trouncing the legacy of your top guys. Yes. Can't really do that. No. And so in a similar way, with Styles right now, it's that, well, they're trying to build up Gunther as some mega heel, right?
Right.
So you can't have him beat an old guy who can't go anymore. You have to have him beat a guy that still can go. So you have to build up AJ Styles as he's leaving so that he's still that guy. So I think that's part of it, but I do think that what you were saying, it makes a lot of sense that he's being a little cagey with it. in a way that seems like maybe he genuinely doesn't know which way he wants to go. We have two comments in the chat about this. Feels, our good friend who sometimes comes on board to host, he says, would be stunned if he let his career legitimately end in KSA in Saudi Arabia. And then
Yeah, that's another big aspect of it, that he didn't have his family there. If he's genuinely, wouldn't you have like your kids there at
yeah,
ringside if it was your last retirement? Nobody was there.
yeah, nobody was there. That's very peculiar unless he doesn't care about that kind of a thing,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Which, I mean, he's a family man, right? So it's a little bit odd.
Yeah.
And then TC in the chat, we're having a little conversation also saying, considering that AJ has gone on WWE produced podcasts and has been really cagey about whether or not he's done, my guess is he's not done. I think that that's a good point as well. If you're going to go on a WWE podcast because you're still under contract with them, maybe you're trying to, be good on the way out, which that's AJ Styles. He's the kind of guy that's not going to, um, go out on bad terms. He has talked about how he would envision himself coaching in WWE after he's done. Last summer, when he was doing interviews about his potential retirement, it seemed like that he wanted his retirement to actually be at WrestleMania. And then it seems like they just didn't come to an agreement to get to there, with the storyline. So it doesn't shock me that he's doing this tour of WWE podcasts. Right now, it's only the Stephanie McMahon one, but maybe he'll do another one coming up. And that he was kind of cagey about the question there, but he very certainly left the door open, even on WWE produced content.
And the WWE podcast with Stephanie, I mean, I don't know exactly when that was recorded, but let's say that his contract.
It was recorded after the Royal Rumble.
Right. So I don't know if it was like the day after the Royal Rumble or 2 days after.
It was a few days after, yeah.
So it's possible that his contract, whatever, it's still he might be still under contract at the end of February. We don't know exactly. I mean, we were told January, but he might be there through the end, which would mean Revolution would be off the table. We don't exactly know the date.
Well, he said February himself, and
does that mean like at the start of February or at the end of February?
That's not known, but yeah. Revolution is also mid-March.
Oh, for some reason I had February in my mind. So my point is though that he could just be fulfilling his contractual obligations.
Yeah.
And this isn't necessarily like, oh, I'm out of contract and I'm going on these podcasts. I genuinely believe that he's probably doing this while he's under contract.
Yeah.
If he was not under contract and he was doing these podcasts, then I think that'd be peculiar.
Yeah.
But a lot of people and I'll be honest, I think it made it more likely that he was staying in WWE, the fact that he was on these podcasts and saying the things that he was saying. But I don't necessarily mean that that's a lock. I think he just could be, he's still under contract and he's doing things that he's under contract to do.
And then I would point out something in that regard. This is a very interesting thing. So on the WWE roster page, you know how AEW is pretty good about when somebody is no longer under contract, they take them off, right?
Yes.
And that's sometimes how we know that, oh, wait, this is legit. When John Cena retired, they immediately moved him from the current superstars to the alumni section.
Yes.
AJ Styles is still under the current superstars.
That's also notable.
That says to me that his contract is still there with them, and they don't have another deal lined up right now. Because if it was legit, they would have put him on alumni immediately.
Yeah. Or it could, they may have another deal lined. It could be, maybe he signed a contract yesterday. We don't know. He might be with WWE again.
We have TC saying, believe that only one AEW signed person has tweeted about AJ's retirement. They don't think he's done. There have been a few that have tweeted about it. Yeah. Most notably, Christopher Daniels tweeted in a way that was very funny, I find. Let me try to find it for you very quickly. I don't know if you saw that.
Osprey has been still and retweeting old tweets of him. So that's also there.
Yeah, Christopher Daniel said, I've been quiet following AJ Styles' last match because I don't think I can condense 25 years of emotions and experiences into one or two tweets. Okay, so far so good, okay. Nothing I type can fully express my love, respect, and appreciation for him. Okay. Regardless of what happens, AJ was and is always elite. Tweeted on February 5th.
So, well, once again.
And that is the head of talent relations of AEW.
Yeah. And I genuinely think that there's a situation where AJ still doesn't know what he wants.
Yeah.
But if that was the case and he knew that they were in the open like that, would he tweet that?
No.
Probably not.
If he knew one way or the other of either definitely he's coming in or definitely he's retired, he would not tweet anything, I don't think.
See, I was going to say the other way. I was saying, like, if he knows it's up in the air, why would he, like, be tweeting stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the only scenario in which you tweet something like that is if you think something's going to happen. If you think that he's retired, I mean, yeah, if you want to do a cheeky comment, it's kind of fun, as a cheeky comment of like, oh yeah, I know that he's retired, but I'll throw this out there. But it's kind of like, I would find it slightly faux pas for the head of talent relations of a company to, tweet something like that if he knew for certain AJ Styles was retired for certain.
Right. And I think it's just a further sign that it's like it's still too early. We don't know everything yet this time. Yeah. And just give me 1 second. I'm plugging in my laptop because it's
no worries.
I just realized it's gonna die, and I don't want to die in the middle of the show.
So well, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Okay. So ultimately, I think we're in the situation where we just don't know with AJ Styles yet.
Yeah. So how about I throw at you a few questions then, so we can do a quasi pick'em. Okay. Live on air. Of a few questions here, we'll score them if and when we find out the answers. Does AJ Styles sign somewhere long term? Let's say, like, a contract that's more than one appearance.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes. Also.
Yeah.
Where does he sign?
I really am pretty close to 50-50 on it right now, because I think he definitely likes WWE and he likes his time there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a very real possibility that he is playing it close to the chest because he's trying to negotiate the best deal possible. And if that's the situation, I have a hard time believing that AEW isn't going to beat WWE's offer, especially if they're still in the process of negotiating. So I'm really just I can kind of flip a coin. I don't think I could say one way or the other. If I had to, my gut is leaning towards WWE.
Okay.
Just because I think he might go there, but I can't say for sure.
I'm gonna be spicy and say AEW. I don't think that money is a matter for him. He has as much money as he wants. His kids are now pretty grown. He doesn't need more money necessarily, I think it's just a matter of, like, does he feel like that retirement was what he wanted a retirement to be? Does he feel like he's wrapped up his career or not? And those are questions that I think he's going to have to figure out, with time a little bit. Because money is a question that you don't need time to figure out. If you want the money, you're going to take the money. But if the money's not good, then you're certain, Okay, so where all does he appear?
I think he's going to show up. Here's the thing. I think if he signs, I think it depends. If he signs a contract with WWE, like how I said he might, I think we're looking at a situation where he'll do some stuff with TNA under WWE contract. Maybe he'll even jump over to AAA for a little bit. He'll make appearances and do the stuff that the legends used to do, or legends do in WWE. He'll do that for a while. Maybe he will eventually get coaxed into a storyline where he gets pulled out of retirement. But I think he genuinely is done in terms of like wrestling full time. I think he'd be a firm part timer at this point. But even as a firm part timer, I think he's going to be under a full time deal, like an actual real money deal.
Yeah.
Probably similar to the kind of thing the Undertaker had.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where I see it.
I'm gonna say, because I'm going with the AEW line, right? I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say he does a match in AEW. I'm gonna say he does at least a match in New Japan. I'm gonna say he does a match in Arena Mexico. And I'm gonna say he does a match for Maple Leaf Pro for Scott D'Amore.
Okay.
As his, I can't do TNA, but I'll do one for my boy.
I could see that. That's also possible. And that's the thing. That's why AJ is an interesting one, because he's always kept things close to the chest.
Yeah.
Like even when he left New Japan the first time, went to WWE, he was making moves. He was pitting Dixie Carter against WWE in order to get a better deal with WWE. It's like, so this is how he's operated. So I'm not like the people who are trying to like take everything at face value for what he does. It's like, I'm not one to do that, because I've seen this story before.
Yeah.
I've seen what he does.
Yeah.
So he is someone who's smart about that.
We have 3 more pick'em questions here. Do the Good Brothers get signed to wherever he goes if he goes somewhere?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's a maybe.
I mean, I think I'll say this. If he really cares, that I don't know how much he cares at this point. I mean, I know he's close with them, but it's like, if Tony Khan was told, hey, I will come to you, but you got to bring, Doc and
Anderson.
Doc and
Sour Boy.
Then sure. I don't think Tony Khan's gonna care.
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna go extra spicy. I'm gonna say Good Nephew also gets signed. You see that the big LG was tagging with his nephew recently on the Indies.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because they're not in WWE right now.
Yeah, no.
So it's not like
it's not possible.
So it's not like is he gonna go to WWE and say, okay, I'll resign, but you need to bring my boys back?
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna do that.
No. Second to last question. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. Does he wear Bullet Club merch again in a ring?
If he goes to New Japan, I think he might, just for like the nostalgia pop.
Yeah.
Like one time. He'll play like the music, maybe the Bullet Club music. I kind of hope he plays his weird New Japan music that everyone hated that I really liked. But I think if he goes to New Japan for a match, he would. But it's also weird, because it's like, even when he went to New Japan, it's like he doesn't really have like a relationship with like anyone who's there anymore.
Yeah, no.
And so it's like, it's all new. It's like I'm trying to think. It's like he never feuded with it. He feuded with everyone.
Goto,
he feuded
maybe.
With, I suppose Goto. Yeah.
I mean, there's history, but there's not like a feud that happened with him.
No, there was not.
I guess like Kojima, but like he's not really.
Yeah, like now we're going like, okay, what are we're gonna bring back Nakanishi. Gonna bring him out of retirement.
Suzuki do some appearances.
Suzuki could work, but he's not even really in New Japan.
He's not. Yeah, he's freelancing. Yeah, but I mean, Kojima's actually still signed to New Japan at least, right?
So, yeah, we could bring in Blue Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say yes. TC says Bullet Club doesn't exist right now. Exactly, it doesn't. That's why he can do it. It doesn't mean anything.
It's gonna be him and Chase Owens.
Yeah, Chase and Taiji Ishimori, who is also upset about it of getting broken up. It's gonna be two. That's your luxury trio for,
Yeah.
for Bullet Club. You got your Ace, you got your Young Gun, and you got your Pin Eater. Perfect faction.
Which one's the young gun?
Ishimori, I guess.
Yeah. How old is Ishimori now?
Let's
He's
not
gotta
get
be-
into it.
Yeah.
And TC also says they're in Noah, aren't they? About Good Brothers. They made some appearances with Noah, but Noah has not signed them. And then the final question is, if he returns, where does he retire? If that was not his last match, where do you think his last match will be?
I'm not sure. I feel like he probably would be someone who would want to retire in WWE, but maybe this is him just doing his little
Like a
what-
sojourn?
yeah. I was gonna say, what's the word that the Amish use when they
You're saying a Rumspringa?
this is Rumspringa, yes. And then he'll return.
So you're gonna say WWE still,
I
even
think
if he
that's still
does
where he's
another
gonna
match.
retire. I think so. I mean, I'll say this. If he does sign with AEW, I think Tony Khan might try to like pay him enough to like retire there. I think Tony would like the retirement. Maybe he'll do
like
that.
contractually obligate him to not do another match.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he can do that, but
Well, he could.
Yeah.
You could say a stipulation of you do like a bonus, and it's like the stipulation of the bonus is that you continue to be retired.
yeah. If you have to pay the bonus back if you don't.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, like that's essentially is a forever non-complete. So I don't know if that's actually like legal, but
Yeah. That's what I mean. It'd be kind of hard with that. I don't know. For some reason, I guess I just don't see him doing an AEW retirement. I think he still just has this like affinity to WWE.
yeah, I'm gonna say it would be AEW. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
I'm not confident on it.
No, and like I said, on all these, I'm pretty close to 50-50. I could flip a coin and kind of go the other way on all these. Because he's about as close to, I don't know, it can go either way as anyone we've had, except maybe, like, Mariah May might have been the only one where we were like, she can go either place.
Yeah, I think retrospectively it was very obvious, but yeah, I think at the time it felt very like, well, why would she go to NXT when she's like already been world champion? You know?
No, I meant the first time.
Oh,
Like,
the first time when she
left
went from
Stardom.
when she left Stardom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was what we were like, yeah, she can go to AEW or WWE.
Yeah. Well, that has been AJ Watch for today, at least. How about we chat about somebody else that did some news in the Royal Rumble, which was Powerhouse Hobbs, now is known as Royce Keys. He debuted in WWE, where they even referenced his name.
Royce Keys.
They I don't know if you saw his entrance. They had on the Tron, it said Powerhouse Hobbs, and then they broke the walls down and it said Y2J. No, it said Royce Keys, and it was like, yeah, this is in the past. And then commentaries talking about, oh my god, it can't be, it is, and it's they're talking about how
Go ahead.
Yeah, they said that his name was Powerhouse Hobbs. Now it's Royce Keys. Then down on the bottom third, it says, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs.
That must be a Triple H thing, because he always did that in NXT with like Devitt and Asuka, and I think they did it with Kenta too.
Mhm.
Like when they came in where they had the thing, they had their old name, and then they like they star wiped away the old name and put the new name. So I think that's which is fine. I think I don't know why they never did that before. That's a smart thing to do. It's like, oh, you probably heard of this person's name before. This is who they are.
Well, I think it says where they think their audience is.
Yeah.
Right? So like in the black and gold NXT days, their audience are the I kind of talked about this in the article I wrote about the best technical wrestler. The audience was the people that were tape traders. It's like the people that really like the super indie style and all those kinds of things. So if they see this person that they might have seen the name before, or they might have been familiar with their work prior, yeah, it's going to be a good idea to be like, yeah, we're recognizing the past. The past is now in the past. This is their name now. So that says something a lot about where they think the audience is right now for WWE a little bit. Like they think that the audience knows who he is.
Yeah.
Whereas with people like Mariah May, they didn't do that with her when she became Blake Monroe. They actually forgot to give her a name for a week or two because they rushed to debut her.
Yeah.
She was the glamorous one, and then Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints was uh the
That
absolute
guy.
one.
Yeah.
They didn't have his name. So like when they put the YouTube video up, they were just like, NXT is now absolute, and then they just didn't have a name yet. It was never said, and kind of like stumbled out of the gates. But this time they learned from those experiences and actually were like, yeah, let's try to hype up his past a little bit, even though we're not going to say AEW. We're going to say, they had Michael Cole say, I've been following this guy for years, and it's like, where?
Yeah.
Where were you following him, Michael Cole? Yeah, and they had a stare down with him and Cody, which they didn't actually fight in AEW, I don't believe. But still, it's still being like, hey.
Well, let's see. Did Cody ever feud with Team Taz? I feel
Uh,
like they might have.
I don't think they did. No, it's because when Sting came in, his first match was the cinematic match against Team Taz.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody was there, hoping that
Oh, yeah.
Sting picks him.
I'm not here for you.
I'm not here for you, Cody. Get down, kid.
Yeah.
I'm here for the boy.
That's right. So they never actually did it. Yeah, that didn't happen. That was when he went to go feud with QTV.
Yeah, and also it was like that they had I think they might have tagged maybe Cody and Powerhouse Hobbs. It might have been just called Will Hobbs at that point.
Right. I could see that.
But yeah, like that was it, because like then Hobbs once he got signed, he got thrown into the like the what I called like the tweener Kaze stable feuding circle, where it was like Darby and Hobbs and Moxley and Lance Archer and Penta and Eddie Kingston, and they were all like working together as tag teams and then fighting each other every other week. It was a really cool time. But yeah, that's his debut. He has not appeared on TV since then for WWE, which is an interesting way to handle a debut, I would say. What do you think his ceiling is in WWE? Also, an interesting thing in Wrestling Observer was they stated as fact that his age is actually 41, not 35.
I've heard since he started in AEW. I remember this at the time that nobody knew how old he was, and he was super quiet about that. And people were like, "He's older than you think."
Yeah.
And at the time, like I heard that kind of talked about and bandied about. So when I remember seeing that 34 age, I was like, he's not 34. So yeah, that's not like new.
Yeah.
I remember that being like, I'm talking like in the dark AEW dark days,
Yeah.
like people were like discussing like his age. So I'm not I mean, I think that here's this. You asked about his ceiling, so I'm going to say this. I think that WWE has a lot of reasons to push him.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's an AEW guy, and I think in a lot of ways, if they get him up higher than AEW got him, that's going to be a feather in their cap. Every single time they've done that, that's been a big feather in their cap. It's like, oh, we got him higher than they ever did. And if Hobbs stayed in AEW, he would have been mid card for life, probably upper mid card. I don't think he was ever going up higher than that. Like where he's at, that's where he was going to be. That's his career, which is a fine career, especially with the money that he was being offered. On top of that, obviously WWE is in a situation where they're getting a lot of criticism for how they push and use black talent. So this is an easy layup opportunity for them to kind of stop that narrative, or at least slow it down, by giving him a sizable push. I think, and on top of that, I think he's a better fit for WWE.
Yeah, that was a note there that you just mentioned about their push of black talent. That was noted in Wrestling Observer and a few other places of reportedly why WWE was auditioning a lot of indie black talent recently at their tryouts. Particular name was mentioned was LeBron Cazone in that matter. And also with the money, reportedly, he was being offered by AEW more money than Chris Jericho made on his first contract with AEW, which means millions.
To me, this shows just how much money AEW is throwing around,
Yeah,
which I think a lot of people still downplay. Like, because I remember the Soraya contract.
that was another
Like,
one being brought up recently. Yes.
yeah, people really don't realize like she was getting paid like an absurd amount of money for that contract in AEW.
Yeah.
And I think that, a lot of people I think people are starting to realize it now, but for years it's been very clear that AEW is paying more than WWE in a lot of situations,
Yeah.
potentially most situations, especially as TKO has taken over. And the bucket system has become the thing that everyone kind of makes their money off of. And so we're going to see what happens going forward, but when it comes to money, uh AEW is going to be hard to beat, especially if Tony really wants them.
Yeah.
And but I even said that I think Royce Keys made the right call, at least for now.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I think that there's a lot of reasons why I think he's going to do well in WWE.
In chat, we have TC mentioning that they faced each other at the Brody Lee Memorial Show because I think that they were both favorites of -1. Um, and then TC also saying, and this is also my thought as well, so I'll lead in with this. AEW has a bunch of main eventers younger than him. WWE is the land of the olds, as TC says. If he lasts longer than Roman and Punk, he might be a main eventer by default.
Well, he's also one of the olds as well. That's the other thing. It's like as you said, he's 41.
Yeah.
Like he's the same age as I think he's the same age as Roman.
He is older than John Moxley.
Yeah.
But let me just let me chat on these things about my views on them. Is that I think that with the AEW main eventers, yeah, he's closer in age of any AEW main eventer. His closest one would be John Moxley of any of the current title holders. He's closer in age to Samoa Joe than he is to MJF.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the main event level of AEW, especially when we're like, let's just talk about the people that are currently gunning for MJF's spot, the people that are currently in the main event of AEW right now. Yeah, Brody King is 38.
Yeah.
Andrade is but I can't 36.
Younger.
He's 36. Yeah. Hangman is like 32. 31. Swerve is around that age too. MJF himself is still not 30. Fletcher is somebody that's up and coming. It's not currently in the circle pit of the world title scene, but he's somebody that people keep mentioning. He got a world title shot last year. He's under 30. Kevin Knight is being pushed as a future main eventer right now, under 30. So a lot of the main events. Ospreay, very obvious one that I missed there. He is 30, I think, even now.
He's
31.
Low 30s at the earliest. Yeah. Low 30s.
I think he was. If I remember, I think I can't remember his birthday. I'm not that crazy. 32. But yeah. There was not an opportunity for him in AEW to push above the the middle card scene, which Doug, you were discussing before. I think that there is a potential of that in WWE far more easily, especially with 2 world titles, for him to get up there. Oh yeah, he's older than Okada.
Yeah, Okada's also like what, 35,
38, I think it is. Yeah, he's upper 30s. He's 40 something. Yeah. Okada's 40, I thought.
No, I don't think he's that old.
He's
Keep that
38.
up.
He is
Yeah.
38.
And
Mm,
Takeshita.
Takesha's 30, yeah.
Yeah.
Even now.
So yeah, that's just once again hammering this point home that AEW has this murderer's row of future main eventers or current main eventers that are like super young and frankly a lot more. I don't want to say a lot more charismatic.
They're more over right now.
Yeah, and they just have a lot more
Prestige
prospects. A lot more.
too.
They're going to get pushed before Hobbs.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's very clear. So it made all the sense in the world that if Hobbs wanted to move up, he should jump. If he was fine where he was and wanted to make money, he should have stayed. Um, and the bottom line is, even if he was fine where he was and wanted to make money, it made all the sense in the world to at least jump for one contract cycle,
Yeah.
and then potentially jump back, because that might be what it needs to shake him out of wherever he was in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like, look at Andrade as an example of this, and we'll chat a little bit more about him in a little bit. I think that Andrade is a perfect example of, like, he tried it out, didn't work out, he went back, he's higher than he was before.
Yeah, and okay, and I'll say this. Obviously, do you want to talk about Andrade now?
Yeah, we can. Let's pit stop on Andrade, and then we'll hit back on Ciampa.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
So here's the thing with Andrade. Obviously there was a lot of messiness with his entire thing. Like, I'm just waving my hands right now. Just all this with Andrade. Like his personal life, his backstage life. I mean, he's been one disaster after another, just a lot of mess. And now he's back. Potentially, I think I'm going to go ahead and assume that whatever issues he had, he's got them worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he had his family issues. He had his issues with his marriage to Charlotte, which has now ended. And I think that he's in a situation where he's a little bit more mature. And I'll be honest, it looks like he's going to get a genuine main event push. It looks like he's probably going to be the one getting a title shot at Revolution.
Yeah, I think very hotly right now. This might be a hot take. This might not be. I think that he's going to be world champion this year in AEW.
No, I don't disagree. I think that that's a realistic thing to happen.
Yeah.
I think they could even. I think they're
going to hot potato the belt.
They probably should, to be honest. Like, jump it around a little bit. I mean, because they rarely do that in this company.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an interesting shakeup. And there's a lot of people right now that would really benefit from just even having a short title reign.
The moniker of former world champion.
Yes. And I think a lot of people forget it's like, it's not always like Vince Russo goofy booking to do that. Sometimes it makes sense to do a quick elevation like that.
Well, and I think that, like, if we had Andrade beat, let's say he beats MJF at Revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, did it really hurt MJF much? No, not much. Does it help Andrade a lot? Yeah, it does help him a lot. And does he need to have a long reign? No, he doesn't.
No. And I mean, that's the thing. We're talking about other people who need to be elevated. I forgot about Pac. I think Pac is primed to take over Death Riders and become a main event talent if they really wanted to do that. So they have a lot of options right now. But I think Andrade winning the title would make a ton of sense. If they're going to go back to Mexico, it makes a lot of sense. They could probably do something with Mystico. Give Mystico a short reign with the title. I think that's another thing that can happen. Just for all these reasons, Andrade, I think, is going to be. I think he made that tweet about how, like, oh, I'm going to retire here. I think he genuinely has now got a better lay of the land. He sees how everything is and what everything is, and I think he's going to make. I think he's going to make the right call, and he got that second chance, which frankly he didn't necessarily. If Tony Khan told him to kick rocks, I wouldn't have blamed him at all, because
that was your opinion, right? Was that he should do that, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I don't think he was worth it. Like, and I'll say this with Rusev, Ramiro. If he were to come crying back, I'd tell him to kick rocks too. So Andrade's in a very, very lucky position, and maybe it is just because he is an incredibly talented wrestler.
Hmm.
Like, just well, and that's something that maybe I don't necessarily can say the same about Rusev or Miro. He's talented. Don't get me wrong. He's a good talent, but Andrade really is like, one in 100 or whatever he used to be.
Oh yeah, no, I think that he's a very unique guy, and I think I mentioned before that I think that the way to push him going forward, and it seems like that they're going in this direction anyway, is he's not a full heel. He's not a shit heel, you know. He is the kind of heel that is like the Eddie Guerrero 2000s heel mold
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
I lie and cheat and steal and you love me for it. And so I can be a tweener, you know, in I can feud with anybody because if I feud with the babyface, I'll just be even worse, you know, of a guy for that feud. I can feud with another heel and people are going to love my antics. And I think that that's the direction that they're going in with that.
Yeah.
Now, a comment that he made, though, this past week was that he wants to retire in AEW. Do you think that he's saying that legitimately or just saying that?
I think honestly he genuinely believes that right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know he just says stuff, but I mean, I don't think he wants to go back to WWE.
Hmm.
I think he's now done this twice, and I think he now understands what the company is, and maybe it was because he wanted to go back for his try to save his marriage, and also Triple H was running the place now. Vince is gone, so maybe thought it might be a little different. But I think now he understands what the company is. I
Hmm.
wonder how Sammy Guevara feels. I wonder if they ever hashed that out.
Hmm.
But I do think I do think he's gonna stay. I mean, at this point, he's like, it's like the Simpsons joke with the supplicants. You come crawling back. It's like, where else is he gonna go?
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely, like, what are his other options?
Back to Mexico, essentially. If he
Yeah,
wants a full time, you know,
yeah.
with somewhere else.
Because he is lucky he is in his position because once again, I already said it. It's like I would not have invited him back. The man like punched someone to try to get out of his contract. I mean,
Yeah.
that genuinely happened. I mean, the idea that he's getting another chance is, he's so lucky.
I mean, we've all
And
been there.
yeah, exactly. And so for that reason, I mean, here's the thing. I think it's going to work because you said it, you compare him like Eddie Guerrero. I almost think it's also got a little bit of the Rick Rude too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a
And
lot of comparisons to Rick Rude.
yeah, and I think it's going to work. I think he's going to get over. I think having him positioned in the Don Callis family works. Don Callis family's probably like the best faction in wrestling right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think that like for my comparison to Eddie Guerrero, it's not just because like oh yeah they're both Latino or something like that. It's because like the dude every week is cheating to win,
Yes.
right? And people are still loving him.
Yes.
Like he is more over than he has ever been in his entire. I would say, oh, man, how long has it been since he's been this over?
He never really ever broke through the top.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I guess like Black and Gold NXT or maybe when he went down to CMLL for that match that he did and like people were like oh it was a few matches actually I think when he returned right before he went to WWE CMLL like maybe those are the last points when he was this over but I think that this is like a new level of overness for him.
right. And here's the thing, even that black and gold one, it was mired with this idea that, oh, he can't talk and he needs
Yeah.
Zelina Vega. And like that was the biggest talking point, or it's like she was the star of the act. And I think that hurt him.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah. So maybe La Sombra like 2015 somewhere around then like it's been a decade essentially since
Yeah.
he's been this over.
Yeah. I think that's probably it.
Yeah, so I think that this is a very interesting thing to keep track of, especially when we look at how they've been treating Andrade as he's come back to AEW. But like, let's look at also another guy that's now new to AEW, never been to AEW before, Tommaso Ciampa, who switched places with Hobbs, I guess you could say, because Ciampa immediately got a mid-card title, first match.
Yeah.
So we didn't really think much about Ciampa leaving WWE. Now, retrospectively, it seems very obvious that he must have had conversations with AEW as his contract was expiring with WWE, and AEW was being straight up with him, like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do with you." and immediately out of the gate gave him a title.
I mean, it's funny because you think about Tony Khan's love of Ring of Honor. It would make all the sense in the world that this is someone who would love to just build on the Ring of Honor storyline of Ciampa, television champion. You know, he didn't have a great run there, but he had a decent little run in Ring of Honor, so it made sense that he'd want to build him up because then it's doubly nice because then I think Tony Khan likes to like hammer home the point that it's like, oh no, they were someone before WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm going to highlight that so that it's not like I'm taking someone from WWE. I'm taking someone back from Ring of Honor. I think he likes to do that a lot.
What do you think his ceiling is with AEW?
Probably where he's at right now.
Yeah.
I think I don't think he's going to go much higher than this. I don't think he's, especially at, now here's the thing. He's one that he's younger than people think.
Oh, yeah?
Like people think he's like, you know, mid 40s, upper 40s. He's 40.
Oh, he's younger than Will Hobbs?
Yes. That's what I mean. So it's like people, and I get it, especially with how long he's been around. He's been around forever. You know, him having the grizzled gray hair now, but he's 40 exactly. Like he just turned 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like knowing that Roderick Strong on his gear it says established in 1999 and you're like, you?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's where we're at right now. Is just it's this weird it's hard to tell how old some of these people are, but I think he's where he's at, and it's fine for him. That's perfectly fine. He's probably going to get he's probably getting a nice little contract, nice little payday, and he'll have a nice little run here.
Yeah. How about we look at some of the awards we did this year?
Okay.
So let's start with we did a bunch of awards. They were about a variety of topics. We call them the Sicko Awards because we are sick people. How about we start though with the free agency story of the year? These are the ones that are going to be a little bit more relevant to what we do here on Wrestle Watch of the Awards. We did plenty of awards about, you know, best in-ring performer and things like that. And if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I want to focus on the ones that were for the ones that are more about, you know, Wrestle Watch kind of things.
Yeah, let's focus on those.
So how about we look at the award for biggest free agency story of 2025. How about that one first?
Sure.
Your nominees were Andrade returns to AEW after having his contract frozen by WWE after a release, the non-complete saga. Mariah May jumps to NXT and becomes Blake Monroe. Speedball Mike Bailey goes to AEW. Tetsuya Naito leaves New Japan. And WWE buys AAA. Which one of those feels like, to you, the story of the year, as far as Wrestle Watch is concerned?
I think I probably would have. I felt that it was going to be AAA, and the reason I say that is just because that one had such a massive impact in terms of the trickle down in Mexico, the CMLL kind of becoming this authentic lucha promotion, AEW suddenly investing more time and energy in there, which has caused this partnership to really solidify in a really interesting way. It's probably helped solidify these massive houses that CMLL has been doing that has potentially solidified them as being the promotion of the year.
Yeah.
So it's just a butterfly effect with that one. So I thought that's the biggest story of the year.
Even for our own awards here, and for plenty of other awards, CMLL did win Promotion of the Year for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this as well, and that's the one that did win for the story of the year was WWE buying AAA. I think it's very interesting also because it seems that AAA is doing better business now under WWE as well.
Yeah, and I think, well, here's the thing, and a lot of people weren't following AAA that close, or maybe they parachute in for the Triple Manias and the fake Triple Manias, and that was about it. But AAA the last couple of years was a terrible promotion. It was
Oh
just
yeah.
a bad wrestling promotion. So when WWE bought them, a lot of people really had the mindset of like, well, it couldn't be possibly worse now. And they had a really low bar to clear. And it is better now. It's a better wrestling promotion. It is very much a WWE Mexico wrestling promotion now. You see the
Yeah.
WWE quirks and everything, but it is a better promotion for it.
Yeah, this TC says it's a better product. Yeah, this is something that I've been saying also for a while now, and I've been thinking that it feels like a hot take, but it doesn't feel like a hot take at the same time. Like it's structured like a hot take, but it's pretty cold of a take. Is that AAA has become less authentic but better.
Yes.
Like it does not feel like old AAA at all anymore. It feels like WWE doing lucha.
Yeah, old AAA felt like it felt like
It
GCW.
felt like GCW. Yes, it felt like Juggalo,
Yeah.
actually, even more than GCW.
Yeah, it just was not a good, it was a trash product.
Yeah,
And it trash product that had like this this main promotion prestige for some reason.
yeah,
Um
and their biggest draw at the time was Alberto Del Rio
yes.
when they were trying to keep Vikingo a face, and the crowd was rejecting him.
Yeah, and it's I think that over time we'll see what happens, but obviously we thought there was going to be some concern that this is going to be bad for CMLL. So far, it has not been bad for CMLL. It has, in fact, kind of been the opposite, where it's driven people to CMLL, and AAA has also grown
Yeah,
because it's got their own. AAA in general has always kind of had their weird anti-lucha, anti-establishment vibe to it, where CMLL always was like this traditionalist. So I think it's got any people that have gone to AAA now or they've gained, they're not people that are coming from CMLL.
yeah,
They're just people that are now maybe more interested in this because it's the WWE aligned,
yeah,
which is fine. CMLL, on the other hand, has definitely made some strides with bringing in the AEW talent that has maybe caused a lot more interest because they're a lot more connected with main roster AEW obviously than WWE is with AAA. I mean, WWE is not sending over,
they
you know,
are. They're bringing Dom over.
or Dom, but they're not bringing like
Judgment Day.
Roman and Cody.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's not the main eventers,
Right.
but at the same time,
But with CMLL, it is the AEW main eventers.
is it?
You had last year one of the best matches of the year in most feuds was Mystico and MJF.
Yeah, and this week we have MXM.
This okay, but we also have I listen, and we got the
Is
Grand
Claudio?
Slam Mexico's coming up. Claudio's pretty good.
He's not a main eventer though.
No, but we also listen. We'll see how this year goes. Put a pin on this. I bet we're gonna see some main eventers in CMLL.
Okay.
All right.
How about we go to the other award that we wanted to really cover here, which is the who do we think is going to be the big free agent of 2026? Who's going to be the most interesting one? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to jump between promotions, but it's going to be the most interesting story when we look back at this a year from now. People that were nominated were Adam Priest, Bailey, Dr. Britt Baker DMD, Chris Jericho, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Who do you think is going to have the most interesting free agency to watch in 2026? Who's going to be the biggest thing
I
of the
think
year?
the answer is probably going to end up being AJ Styles.
Yeah.
But if we're being honest here,
Yeah.
I think I'd probably go Bailey. I think that's going to be the one.
Well, lo and behold, you'll never guess who actually won this one. It was Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bailey is going to be an interesting one. We're going to be watching her for pretty much all the year because I think that her contract, by her own admission, is up in October. But we already have her on our tracker because it's already been pretty interesting what's going on so far with her.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I in the Rumble, she was pretty much an afterthought.
Yeah, she
So
was. Yeah, it was not the best appearance by her in a Royal Rumble, that's for sure.
yeah. So I think we're already like, she seems pretty checked out.
And I just wanted to also tap on our what our matches of the year were for 2025. I think that yours was it Bandito versus Hechicero from Death Before Dishonor?
That was my match of the year.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one? Do you think that it like got good press from other people over match of
Yeah.
the year?
I don't think it was a chalk pick though. I mean, I know in the VOW
Yeah. I was
top
a little surprised by what won the VOW.
so that one
That was
got 15th.
Yeah, yours got 15th for that. Yeah, I was a little surprised that Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega won. Honestly,
That was my number 5.
I didn't even have it in my top 50.
No, that match stuck with me. That so definitely like all year, like from January 5th, it was never left my top 10. That match stuck with me. So it was really I'm not surprised that that match won.
My top pick, and this is also the one that won for us here with our community, was Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay from
That was
Double or
my
Nothing.
that was my number 2.
Yeah. And that one got on the Voice of Wrestling. It got number 3.
Yes.
And number 2 was MJF Mystico.
That one was almost in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one in Mexico, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the second one.
The big anniversary match.
Yes, that one almost made my top 10. That was going to be my Isuri versus Mayu beat it out. I really really love that match because it was like the last match before Mayu left for Marigold, and I thought it was great. And I didn't really want to. And that was her like big farewell. I didn't want to take that out because that match I thought was phenomenal. But it was really like almost a coin flip between that one and Mystico and MJF. Ultimately, I went with this match, but I could have gone either way.
Yeah, so to run down what our community top 10 was, number 10 was Bandito versus Hechicero, which was your pick. Kenny Omega, Gabe Kidd was number 9 for us. We had Ospreay versus Takeshita from the Owen Hart Cup.
That was my number 8.
I think that was my it was pretty high up there for me too. Number 7 was MJF Mystico. Number 6 was Bandito versus Takeshita from Supercard of Honor. We both were at that match.
Yeah.
We were both at that match.
Yeah, that was really great. That match, the only issue with that match is they went for some weird thing that I thought would have been the coolest thing ever if they actually landed it, but they kind of blew it. But that match was really great.
Number 5 is Tam Nakano's retirement match with Saya Kamitani.
That was my number 3.
Number 4. It's a match I didn't have ranked. It was the Hollywood ending.
I also did not have that one ranked. But I get it.
Yeah, in Voices of Wrestling, I think that it was number 5. Yeah, overall for Voices of Wrestling. So that's pretty high up. I don't think that it was a bad match or anything like that. It just didn't get into my tum-tum. Yum-yums in my tum-tum.
It's a little too overbooked for my taste. But
yeah. I thought that was a little short. Like, I thought that it tried to cram too much into a short span of time, that they should have, like, cut, like, one or two of the spots, to let them breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like, oh, we gotta hit this spot, we gotta hit this spot, we gotta hit this spot, because we only have 13 minutes, gotta go fast. In contrast, number 3 for us was Anarchy in the Arena.
I did not put that on there. I'll be honest, I am not an Anarchy in the Arena guy.
Yeah.
I laugh at the music playing. It's amusing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been in the building for Anarchy in the Arenas in the past, and I just it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I did I was at the first All In where the Stadium Stampede happened, and it was hard to follow.
Hmm.
It's really hard to follow when you're in the arena.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think it becomes almost like a cinematic match at that point.
Yeah.
And I, we famously during I got a lot of crap for this, but during COVID, I refused to like consider the cinematic matches as matches.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just like an extended video package. I'm not. This is not a match. I refused to vote them as matches, and I just thought them off.
Number two is a match you saw in person. It was at All In. It was Mox versus Page.
It was very good. I did not have it on my list though.
Yeah. I think that it was interesting, and this is another thing that happened with the Voice of Wrestling one, which is that TC mentions that maybe some Hangman matches cannibalized each other for the Voices of Wrestling ranking. That's possible, but I think that that happened with Sari versus Shuri, where there were two of those that were in the top 15.
Yeah,
Number 10 was the one from the Surrealism, the draw match, which I thought was better personally.
that was my number 4.
It was, yeah, that was one of my, I think that was number 3. Yeah, that was number 3 for me on the year. I just really loved that match. I wrote an article for our Substack essentially about that match, and how I think that, like, I think it's extremely well booked and paced match. But yeah, then there was the other one that was at Stardom, the conversion match, and that one also, that was the one that Dave Meltzer gave 5.25 stars to, so it got a lot of votes too. And yeah, those are my thoughts about the match of the year. Is
Yeah.
My favorite didn't win, and you know what? I don't have special little guys, and it's better that way, because then you find out what they really like and dislike in the world, and then you get disappointed in those people. And that's not about anybody or anything in particular at all.
Sometimes it's good to have some picks that are just like out there though.
Yeah.
Like my number 9 and the Voice of Wrestling was ranked 299.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
I had one that I had I put Zack Sabre Jr. versus Taichi from New Japan Cup this year in my top 10.
my favorite thing to look at on the Voice of the Wrestling match of the year poll are the matches that got one person who voted for it, just one vote.
Yes.
And it was their number 1 vote.
Yes, those are always the that was like what I liked, was seeing that all of my matches cleared that I submitted, and I was like, okay, we're good. At least another person thinks that this match was okay.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing in the world, is when you like submit your list and you're like, oh, nobody else even thought about this match?
I had a few that I was the only one who voted on.
Yeah.
Like that one, that was the only, but that was like my number 9. It wasn't
Yeah.
like my number 1. If it was my number 1 and I was the only one who thought about it, that'd be like, okay, either I'm like really found a gem, or I have some really weird views.
Oh yeah. My Zack Sabre Jr. versus Taichi ended up at like 111, and I was like, I cleared it. We're good. We're good. I didn't have a weird take today. Yeah. So, was there anything else you wanted to cover this week before we look at our updated tracker? Maybe I don't know what else happened. Not a lot of big wrestling news happened this week, huh?
You know what? I think we covered everything that we need to cover. We could jump right into the tracker at this point.
Cool. So up in the certain tier, we now have Adam Priest, Evil, and Clark Connors newly added up to the certain tier. Clarky Boy reportedly is in discussions with AEW to have a contract. It's up in the air, as reported by Wrestling Observer, if it is an exclusive deal or if it will be a dual contract with New Japan. But that is why he is up now in that tier. Do you have thoughts about that?
I think that's fine. I probably would have put him at likely, just because I put him around wherever Gabe Kidd is, to be completely honest sometimes.
Yeah.
But I there seems to be a lot more like certain talk that he's going to be making the jump, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and then also in because last episode we had Relationship Watch news. Dave Meltzer reports that he is, in fact, the boyfriend of Tekla. We have
Yes.
confirmation now.
Yes.
It has been reported.
Which we thought. We had speculated.
um, in likely, we have. Oh, we got a lot of people in likely. Ooh, buddy boy. We have Chris Jericho, Bushi, Kieran Gray, Lena Cross, Leon Slater, Sonata, Stephen Borden Jr., Tetsuya Naito, and newly added to likely are Hiromu Takahashi and Rain Leverkusen. I don't believe that you know much about Rain at all, but you know a lot about Hiromu.
Yes, I know a lot about Hiromu. He's probably going to be popping over to Noah with his buddies, which is fine. I mean, there was also talk that WWE was potentially interested, but I think he's just going to end up in Noah. Either way, he's not going to be done wrestling. He is leaving New Japan, as we already saw. So he's making a jump one way or the other.
Yeah, they made the official announcement that Hiromu has left this past week. His final match will be at the New Beginning in Osaka with New Japan. Yeah, I think that Noah is the most likely thing. I think that WWE's interest only lies as far as they want Evil to have a friend, or they have somebody that they think AEW is interested in, because he has said good things about Tony Khan in the past. He has enjoyed working in AEW in the past.
Yeah, I don't know much about Rain Leverkusen, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So I will leave you to that one.
So yeah, she's somebody that's been popping up on the UK indie scene very heavily in the past year. I had really noticed her this past year when I went to London and did the well, this year was a Forbidden Door weekend. It was noted to me that she was somebody that did the tryout with WWE at SummerSlam earlier that month, excuse me, in August in New Jersey. She was flown from the UK to New Jersey to do the tryout. She won their MVP of the tryout, and from that point on, I noticed that a lot of indies in the UK were booking her to win their titles. Why is that? Why do you think they started doing that? It's because they wanted the rub of, oh, this person is going to WWE. So when they drop their title, people are going to notice their indie.
Yeah, that seems to be what happens a lot, right?
Yeah, she dropped 4 titles in the last week, including Progress.
Yeah. Okay, well, so that's a sign.
Yeah, she's reportedly, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp reported that the expectation within the British indie scene is that she will be signing with WWE. That's why only in likely as far as it goes rather than certain. I think that she, if we're gonna have people like Lena Cross, Kieran Gray on the tracker, I think that she's somebody to have on the tracker as well. She was a top champion of a notable indie promotion, so I think that that's worthwhile of keeping track of.
Fair enough. All right. And then we'll go on to probable. For this one, I'll read this one. We have Danhausen, Michael Oku, Killer Kelly, David Finley, Gabe Kidd, Vert Vixen. I think, did anyone get added to that one?
The last 3 are new additions to the probable tier. David Finley and Gabe Kidd formerly were toss-ups. Now they're moved up 1 tier to probable.
I think that's fair. David Finley is one where he could just potentially end up back in New Japan. Gabe Kidd's also someone that, he's been teasing this AEW thing for a while. And Vert Vixen, we go back and forth with her. I mean, I think it's finally, there's interest now. Yeah. So I think we'll see what happens with her.
Yeah, with Gabe Kidd, I mean, it's him and Wilson, the Tire Son. They're now on AEW programming weekly with Clark Connors, who seems to be actually signing. It could just be that Gabe's doing a solid to get Clark established in AEW before going back over to New Japan again. But stranger things have happened, and he's there weekly right now.
Yep.
Vert Vixen, she's been appearing on AEW Dark since 2020. So it is a little bit odd that finally we're keeping an eye on her, possibly to some people, but she's been doing more appearances of late for AEW. AEW has been in a hiring spree of indie talent. There's been a report by Fightful that allegedly there are a bunch of women's indie wrestlers that AW has already signed that have just not been announced as signed with AW formally. She's kind of so far feels like she's fitting the bill of one of those people, so that's why we've decided to add her onto the tracker at this point. I think that she's notable enough. If we were talking about indie stars, she's notable enough.
Yeah, I suppose. She's one I definitely could go either way on. I mean, a lot of the indie talents I think I can go either way on, but I think it's I think it's fine where she's at.
How about we look down at the toss-up tier of the tracker? We have the British wrestler Rio, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Private Partey, Isla Dawn, Dakota Kai, and now AJ Styles and the Iconics. How do you feel about AJ being a toss-up? I mean, that was essentially what you were saying earlier,
Yeah,
right?
that's where I was at. I don't really have anything more to say on AJ in that regard because I said he's probably a toss up. I think that's where he belongs.
Do you have any thoughts about anybody else on that tier there?
A few. Iconics, obviously there's talk of them potentially going to AEW. We'll see. I know that a lot of people think they're a weird fit, but I don't know if they're that much more weird than Babes of Wrath.
Yeah, that's been like the refrain so far of people that have been talking about. Like Wrestling Observer reported, the way that they reported was people have been talking about them possibly coming to AEW. We don't think it's a good fit. That was their phrasing. It was kind of weird.
Which is I totally, I'll be honest, I kind of understand that. They're I think that they need to step it up if they're gonna kind of match, but we'll see. I mean, it's like it's not like would they be the worst women's tag team in AEW if they were brought in?
Like, are you meaning like in-ring quality wise?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Like, I think that they would be better than like Julia and like Sky Blue.
I think I feel really bad because I feel like those two have regressed a lot as being a formal tag team now.
Yeah.
They just have like what's the thing when all these species all develop to look like crabs? You know, parallel evolutionary kind of thing. It feels like that they both have just tried to be each other's moveset.
Yeah,
because they're doing like the creepy twins thing, and I'm like, you guys, like, no, it was better when you guys were two distinct personalities.
Yeah, no, and we'll so I'm actually pretty indifferent on bringing them in. I don't care if you want to bring them in, it's fine. And then the other one I'll talk about is Private Party because we have that mystery team that's supposedly going to be in that tag match. Is it on
Wednesday? It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's a mystery tag team.
Yeah, so it could be Private Party.
I mean, my hot pick is somebody that we're gonna have talk about down in a remote later. Is my pick of who it might be. And Isla Dawn was on Collision last night, just hanging out with in the parking lot brawl match. They flew her out to Vegas, too.
All right, sure. So I don't have anything else to add on toss up unless you do.
No. How about I read off the possibles? We have Man Like Doris, Ninja Mac, Mike Santana, Knockout Brothers, Sorry, LeBron Cazone, Starboy Charlie, and Steve Macklin. Any thoughts on any of those folks right now?
Not really. Steve Macklin is probably sticking around in TNA.
It's possible,
which is
yeah.
Probably for the best. So
yeah, I think
possible he jumps.
It's possible,
which is why he's in the possible tier. But I think that's fine.
Yeah, my view on it is that I feel like they could be setting up a formalized leaving the territory match. Because, like, it's kind of like a anticlimactic to have it be during a feast or famine thing where you don't have that moment for the crowd of, like, catharsis. You know, it's like, oh, he got the briefcase. We're gonna find out next week what happens. Oh, he's fired. That's it. You know, it doesn't feel as good. I feel like Mike Santana, if you're gonna have him do a leaving the territory match, that's probably a good opponent to have him set up against. So that's why I'm kind of like, I mean, what I'm seeing on screen isn't shouting to me he's staying.
No.
It's shouting to me, we'll see. It's possible.
And then the next one, we have the unlikelies. That's just going to be Bailey, Priscilla Kelly, and Shayna Baszler. I have nothing to add on them.
Same. And let's look down at remote then. We have Saraya the Miz, Dragon Lee, Shinsuke Nakamura, Anna Jay, Bozilla, Miyu Yamashita, and my pick for the mystery tag team this coming Wednesday, the Good Brothers.
If the Good Brothers are in there, I would be more likely to say that AJ Styles is coming in.
I would skyrocket AJ Styles to certain if the Good Brothers are the team. Because, like, okay, look. Do I like the Good Brothers? Yeah. I think I like the Good Brothers more than most people do. I think that most people's opinion of the Good Brothers is they're not that good, which maybe they're not. But I think that they get overhated as a tag team. I think that they're good morale people backstage. They seem to be. Everybody loves them. Like, do you know anybody in wrestling that said, I hate the Good Brothers as people?
No, everyone, listen, Doc Gallows is joked as, like, the greatest worker.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sour Boy. I love Sour Boy, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he's the best. So I'm not saying that I would be shocked if AEW ever signed the Good Brothers without ulterior motives. However, they've had a year to sign the Good Brothers without ulterior motives, right? So, like, if they were going to sign them for any other reason than, oh yeah, we like AJ Styles and we want to have him have a little faction, and then maybe we'll, have them against Bullet Club Gold for a little match.
Yeah, I think that's very possible, and we will find out.
And
all right, so I think that's going to be it for this week.
Yes, indeed. That is it for this week. As always, keep an eye on us on Substack, where we have long form articles. This week we had an article about the Wrestling Observer newsletter's Best Technical Wrestling Award and what Best Technical Wrestling actually means. We are on YouTube and on your podcast catcher of choice. Please give us a comment, give us a like on this video. It helps with the algorithm. And I mean, as always, just look at Brody King's shirt.
Yep, absolutely. So with that, then, I am Doug.
And I'm Ryan. Stay spicy.